So with that, I'm going to actually spend some time with you on a demo of both CloudArchive and CloudArchive Direct as it relates to how you would configure your protection jobs and sources and targets in Cohesity. So what you're looking at right now is a typical Cohesity dashboard. When you come into the dashboard, you instantly know the health of your systems and your environment. You know how much storage has been used. You understand your reduction ratios. You know if your systems are being protected, if they're compliant, and you even get some great details about performance and IOPS and overall read-write information. Now, in terms of, we're going to start with CloudArchive. However, regardless of whether you're using CloudArchive or CloudArchive Direct, you do have to register your external cloud targets so that you can leverage them as part of the protection jobs that you're going to be setting up. So you can see I have some, AWS S3, we have a little bit of Azure, a little GCP, and AWS S3 IA. So now that I have some targets, there's a couple other pieces that are important. So one of them is the sources. So in terms of protecting or archiving anything from like our vCenter environment or our NAS, those would have to be just simply registered. It's quite simple. You just click the plus, register your source, and you're on your way. Now we're going to go ahead and go into the protection element. So there's two things we're going to look at for CloudArchive in this protection job space. So first of all, I do have my protection job already created, and I'm going to go ahead and edit, and so that's one piece. We need our protection job. The second piece is that we actually need a policy. Now that policy could be created in advance, which I did here, and it's already set in the protection job, but I do have the ability to edit and create different ones if I wanted to right from within here. So I don't even have to go anywhere special. Now what I did when I set up the policy for this is I basically said, hey, I want to back up this server every day and retain it for 2 weeks. But every time I back up that system, I'm going to go ahead and archive it off to my S3 CE target that I have registered. And so every time that runs, that's going to happen. The other thing, too, about a protection job, do know that you have some additional configuration and settings that you can put in place. We have end dates, we have exclusions, indexing, etc., for you to be able to manage. So just to make sure I'm really clear, you're actually taking a backup job and you're initiating your archival immediately upon completion of that protection job, which is a really, really easy, nice, seamless way to do it. You no longer need a separate solution to manage your archives. So that is the CloudArchive option. Now we're going to take a look at CloudArchive Direct. So with CloudArchive Direct, we're actually going to leverage that NAS registered source that I showed you. And there's also a policy that's set up specifically for NAS. So I'm going to still go ahead and just edit because I want you to see how much of this can be done just from one single location. So when this particular protection job was created, it was a NAS protection job, which then gave me the option to choose my source, which was our NAS, and enable CloudArchive Direct. You're also going to notice in here, you have the choice of retaining that original format. So in some use cases, we have found that customers don't want that format changed for the encryption and compression element. And if that's the case, then that's what you would select here. And then just scrolling down a little bit, we can see that, again, this is running every day, being retained for 2 weeks, and after every single run, every time this NAS share is protected, we're going to go ahead and archive that data up to our S3 NAS target that we had set up right when we started. Similar to the other protection jobs, there are some additional settings that you can configure. Again, it's those end dates, you have some QoS options, SLAs, and some other things. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, and then there's just one more thing I'd like to show you about each job. So how do I know that this is working? So if I were to just glance at this and want the confidence to know that either of these jobs have had that archive process complete, I just follow this across and I go to the cloud. And as long as there is a green check mark on the cloud, and you can see that on both of these jobs, I know that that archive has occurred and the data is in S3.